why did you choose electrical engineering in USA and not in South Africa?
My dad was doing his own research and he told me that, hey, America is better. You should go to America as opposed to Canada. And I was like, you're the one paying the school fees. Say less. I'll go where you want me.
So, how important it is to have software skills in today's world of electrical engineering?
Right now, I am interning with the Water Resource Department at ACU, and I'm always on my computer because I'm helping them design some systems to protect wiring because they have sensors that they deploy in the field.
Most of the students think that GPA will give them jobs, the good GPAs. Is that true?
Your networking could do way better than your GPA.
So, how did you get into kinesiology? Like, what is kinesiology? There are so many data centers that are coming up around the world. So, as an electric engineer, so how would you reduce the energy consumptions in these data centers?
Engineering is one of those fields that can never really go away because you always need it somewhere.
If you could change one world problem by engineering, what could it be? Hello, my name is Pranali Shashank and welcome to the show Visionary Minds. Joining us today is Patrick from South Africa, who is an electrical engineering student, an athlete, a student researcher, and he is into different types of various activities. And he is not only making real impacts on students but also on the community. Great to have you here, Patrick.
Oh, thank you for having me. I'm excited
So-
to be here.
You are from South Africa,
Yes,
and
ma'am.
it is one of the diverse countries with different ethnic groups.
Yes.
How it is easy or difficult to get admissions into universities, or what is the education system look like?
It's not that difficult to apply. Applying is one thing. Being accepted is a whole different thing,
Okay.
right? So in South Africa, I think most students, especially undergrad, stay within the country. So, for example, me, I would be an anomaly, or I would be an outlier if you're
Okay.
looking at a scatter plot. I would be an outlier because I chose to come to the United States to do my undergrad. But the system is fairly simple. I think I used the common application. And I just put my application through there. I applied to a few universities because I've always wanted to study outside of, study overseas. That's something I had within my mind. So, yeah, I think it's not that difficult.
How? So, talking about South Africa,
Mm-hmm.
so how does the education system in South Africa look like? It is easy for anyone to get through the education, or it's affordable?
So affordable, yes. Primary school is affordable because South Africa has a law that every child must go to school. It's a law. Even if your parents can't afford school, your kids must go to school. That's a law. And so most specifically for primary school, most South African kids go to primary school essentially for free. Yes, you have to do some payments, but there's schools where kids go for free, like no payments at all. And then the government schools, you don't really like. I've seen people go without paying them, but it's people get an education. High school is kind of similar for public schools, but
Okay.
private schools are more you have to pay kind of thing because it's private. It's a private education, and the way the system is set up is it's different from America. It's because being in America, I've come to understand the way the school system works, at least at college level, and it's not everything is like multiple choice. Maybe a few essays here and there. Back home is different. Everything is paper and handwritten. Maybe when you reach 10th grade onwards, then you some assignments, like maybe one or two assignments in your English class or your computer application technology class you have to do online, but everything else is in person, written out, whether it's math, your sciences or geography, everything is handwritten. So, and the system is you have first to seventh grade, or we say grade 1 to 12. I mean, grade 1 to 7, that's primary school. And then grade 8 to 12 is high school.
Yeah.
As opposed to the American
Yeah.
system of 1 to 6 is
Sixth is
primary, and then 7 to 9 is middle school, and then 10 to 12 is high school.
Yeah.
So that's
So, would you say that the access to the quality education in South Africa depends upon this location, race, or something else?
yes, it's true. Access to high education is highly affected by location. Yes, being from Johannesburg, I'm from like the major city,
Okay.
so it was fairly easy for me to access education. But growing up, school was like 16, 17 minutes away from where I live, from my house.
Oh,
Yeah, and we walked to school,
so
like
you are
primary.
from the Johannesburg, and
Yes.
from there you take this much of time.
Yes, 17-minute walk. But if you're driving, it's like a 7 minutes drive, so it's
Okay.
not that far, you know. But when you're walking, it's like 16, 17 minutes, depending on everything else. But yeah, and in high school was more further away. It was like maybe 30, 40 minutes away
Mm-hmm.
because primary school and then high school is at a different location. Um, and then the high school I went to, because I went to two different high schools. One was really close to home, was like 5 minutes away from home,
Okay.
and then when I transferred, the other one was like 40 minutes away from home.
Mm-hmm.
So I took the bus to school, and it was okay.
And how can you differentiate the education from rural to urban area? Is it affordable?
I think rural is more affordable because the government has initiatives to help rural students
Mm-hmm.
be able to get an education, because the more rural you go, the harder it is, for infrastructure and you know urbanization,
Yeah.
for example. So I think more rural is more subsidized, for example, so that the students there can or the learners there can be able to get an education. And in your rural areas is where there's a higher chance of you getting a school where kids go to school for free, as opposed to the urban area where everybody is
Oh.
supposed to be working, and it's more urbanized, it's modernized, and it's
Yeah,
so.
yeah.
Hmm.
So, from a research point of view, how
Yes.
strong is South Africa's academic and scientific, ecosystem comparable to other African countries?
Compared to other African countries,
Mm-hmm.
I don't know for sure, but I know it's one of the top ones, because if you look at Cape Town University, it
Mm-hmm.
was top 10 universities in the world,
Mm-hmm.
and also Wits, which is the University of Witwatersrand in South Africa. It's Wits, UP, which is University of Pretoria, and UCT, which is University of Cape Town. Those three are always like top global. So that goes to show you how that the level of education is really good in South
Mm-hmm.
Africa. Um, I would say it's really good because when I got here, sometimes I get surprised by the level of teaching. Sometimes, even at college level, even the
Yeah.
people I meet every day, the kind of things they say, the way they express themselves. I'm just like, I'm not saying not like mannerisms. I'm talking intellectual,
Intellectually, okay.
like intellectual level. I feel like I'm a bit more advanced than some people at the same level. But I don't know. Maybe it's because I went to a private school. There's those
Mm-hmm.
differences, and there's that thing of in America, everything is multiple choice, especially at undergrad level. Almost all tests are multiple choice. And I don't know how much critical thinking you have to do to get a multiple choice question. But then when it's handwritten, you have to think more and
Yeah.
express yourself more. So there's those aspects, and yeah.
I see. So, why did you choose electrical engineering in USA and not in South Africa?
Okay, so first was biology. So I was a biology major, and then I
Okay.
switched to electrical engineering. But I chose biology. I'll come to electrical engineering. I chose biology because I was on the pre-med track. I wanted to
Mm-hmm.
go to med school. Um, and the reason why I chose it in America, I actually didn't choose it in America. I chose it in Canada.
Canada. Okay.
Yes, and then my dad was like, he was doing his research because I was
Mm-hmm.
still in high school, and high school is 12th grade is the worst grade in South Africa because it's so busy and so difficult.
Mm-hmm.
Um, you literally go like the whole year is just work and work and work and work. You're packed with work, and when the final exams, because they're national exams, the final exams are national exams, and we study countless hours for those. I
Okay.
remember even cross nighting for some of the exams because it was so stressful and so difficult. And thank God I did really well in my exams. So, but the reason why I chose biology was because, as I said, I wanted to study outside of South Africa, and so my dad said, "Okay, look at countries outside that you want to study at. Do you want to go to the UK? Do you want to go to Europe, or do you want to go to America? What do you want to do? North America?" He meant, and I was like, yeah, sure." And I looked up, all the things, and the UK was very similar to South Africa. Like everything is the same English, same. Like I could see like the cultures are not that different and everything, and which is fine, but it's way more expensive. Euros to rands, the ratio is not in our favor. Even to dollars, it's not, but it's more expensive in Europe. And so, I thought of Canada. There was a school I wanted to go to. I forgot the name of it, but it was really a cheap med school that I really wanted to go to. And I told my dad about it, and we were starting the application. Then my dad was doing his own research, and he told me that, hey, America is better. You should go to America as opposed to Canada. And I was like, "You're the one paying the school fees. Say less. I'll go where you want me to go. As long as I go outside, I'm fine with that." So that's how I ended up coming to America for my biology degree. And then along the way, a lot of things happened. And I was thinking cost wise, I had to think cost and all these things. I was like, okay, I think I need to take because biology is wide open. You don't know what you're gonna do if you don't go to med school, or you don't go into some masters. So that's when I switched majors to engineering. And what kind of engineering? My dad is an electrical engineer.
Oh,
Yes, so that's why I went into electrical engineering, and the rest is
that's
history.
how
Here
you
we are.
ended up here.
Yes, ma'am.
So, how much does it cost for students like you or any African students to get into this program here in America?
Yeah. Are you saying how much are the fees annually,
yeah.
or are you saying the breakdown
You can say it annually.
annually? So it depends on your program. When I was a biology major, per semester it was $19,000, and as an engineering major, it's about $14,000 a semester, and you have 2 semesters, so all those values multiply by two. The biology is 19 times 2, and engineering is 14 times 2, so 28,000 for um 28,000 for, what do you call it, for engineering, and about 38,000 for biology. Yes.
Well, that's a big number.
It is,
Very
yeah.
few people can afford it.
It is. That's why you have to get your scholarships and all those things.
So, do you get any scholarships here?
I do get scholarships. It's really difficult for international students to get scholarships. Don't get me wrong. My first year, I didn't have no scholarship. It was very difficult. But it's easier to get a scholarship after completing your first year. Master's level is different because you can get. I have a lot of master's friends, and you can get your what do you call it, assistantship, which helps a lot with your tuition. And I don't think master's pays as much as undergrads.
Yeah.
That helps offset the cost. But yeah, you need to get scholarships, and I get the scholarships are not like big. It's like $1,000 scholarship, so you need to stack those and get as many as you can. And it's not easy to get even those ones. So it's
So we need to work on that.
you need to work on that. Yeah, you need to, when you get any advice to any international student, wherever you go, get involved in that. Get involved, volunteer as much as you can, meet people, network. When they say network, I used to hear people say network. I used to ask myself, what does that mean? Well, if you're like me and you don't really know what network means, it means go outside and talk to people. Talk to people in your field. Ask questions. People want to talk to you, especially if you're international. Yeah, people are curious, and you can use that to your advantage. They want to know a few things about where you're from. You want to learn about them. You want to learn about the environment, so you can use an old term, barter information. Exchange information. You can barter and exchange information, and yeah.
That will help many people now to
Yeah.
get into scholarship, because most of the people don't know about the scholarships that they can come and get after enrolling themselves here in America. So thank you for that.
Yeah, and the scholarships, America has their deadlines are crazy. Like you have to apply way in advance. Like for example, the scholarships for the upcoming fall semester we had to apply for in October last year. See? And yeah, as far as October last year, that's when the scholarships opened. By the time we reached January this year, the scholarships had already closed, Oh no, March 15th was normally the last day to apply for scholarships, and those were late scholarships. So by March 15th, you're already done with scholarships, and that's for the fall, which is in August, all the way in August.
So it's first
So
come, first serve.
exactly, yes, it's always first come, first serve, and then of course a higher GPA always beats a lower GPA.
Yeah. So, how important it is to have software skills in today's world of electrical engineering?
Oh, it's very important. It's very important. Like right now, I am interning with the Water Resource Department at ECU, and I'm always on my computer because I'm helping them design some systems to protect wiring because they have sensors that they deploy in the field because they work hand in hand with the geology department. So it's it's engineering, you know. Computers and engineering go hand in hand. So software. So if you could do AutoCAD
Okay.
and you can design and you're good with your SolidWorks and you're good with all these programming languages, try to teach yourself as many programming as possible. That's the advice that I was given. You have to be kind of like a jack of all trades,
Yeah.
like just have many different skills to help yourself make yourself a better candidate than anybody else. Because if you're thinking of getting a job in the United States, you're already at a disadvantage being international. That's the truth. That's just the truth. That's how it is. But you should like challenges, and so if you aim to elevate yourself, you have to have a lot of different skills to make up for that, you being international. And I think if you work hard, you
We
will
can
get
achieve.
something. Yeah, you can achieve what you want to achieve.
So, most of the students think that GPA will give them jobs, the good GPAs. Is that true?
I don't think so. For international, I would say prioritize your GPA if you're international, just because you're international. But technically, no, GPA does not. Your networking could do way better than your GPA. Because in America, C's get jobs, and that's the truth. I've this recently I was scrolling on TikTok and I seen a video about engineering, and in the comment section it was filled with people that did engineering. They're like, "Oh, I had a 2.6 GPA and I have a really good job." So that's not even a good GPA. 2.6 is not great.
Yeah.
In fact, it's horrible. It's below a C average. It's about a C average, and so it's like GPA is really important if you want to apply to scholarships. You see, so GPA is not that important because when you go get a job, your degree does not state your GPA. Your degree just states your name and what degree it was and what institution you went to. It does not say you passed with, unless you have like a 4.0 and you're cum laude, then that's on there.
Oh.
Like if you're like top, then that's on there. If it's not and you're not like a 4.0, then it's not on there. There's no reason for it to be on there. Because engineering at the end of the day is just you learning a skill, and now you have the skill. That's how employers see it. If you can complete engineering, it means you can take instructions, you can work through something, and you're competent. That's what it is. And so
oh yeah, you're
so
right.
GPA is, if you're international, it's important. You better keep it up.
Yeah,
But
if you're
networking
international,
is
then you're important.
it is.
So, if you could change one world problem by engineering, what could it be?
One world problem by engineering. That's a great question. I think it would be access. Access to resources, because not everybody has the same access worldwide. Some people have less resources than others,
Yeah.
and then how they use those resources. So access to infrastructure, to just access in general to infrastructure and to systems that help all these that are in all these developed countries to all these undeveloped countries.
Well, that's interesting.
Yeah.
Access to the globe.
Yeah, I think access to
Yeah.
resources.
So, you're an athlete. So, I'm going to ask you some interesting questions about football now.
Okay.
So, as someone from India, when I think about South African football, I just immediately go back to 2010 World Cup, and I remember
yes,
of Waka
yes.
Waka and waving flag.
Yes.
So, what does World Cup mean to South Africans today?
The World Cup means a lot, I won't lie. It means a lot, especially after the player's name was called Simpiwe Chabalala. When he scored that one goal and they had the dance, and it's very historical. that one goal made him so big. He became like the South African star. Like every advert on TV, you'd see him, and all the kids knew who he was. All the kids in the streets would have a Shabalala shirt on. So it's like, yeah, it's massive for us because the World Cup changes your economy.
Mm-hmm.
The World Cup changes your economy because if you think about the World Cup, when you host the World Cup, the hotels get booked because people are coming from outside. The stadiums have to be renovated and prepared for the world coming because now the world eyes are on the country. It helps so much with infrastructure. So I think that's one of the reasons why South Africa is one of the good African countries or
Mm-hmm.
one of the developed or semi-developed African countries because of the World Cup was also a big part of that,
Yeah.
and it brings a lot of cash inflow into the economy, which helps boost the economy and all that.
So,
So
is football in South Africa a passion or much more than that?
it's life. I would say it's life. All the boys, we all grew up playing football. We all grew up playing football. Every day we would play football. We wear school shoes in South Africa. We wear uniform, and our school shoes get destroyed because we play football so
Yeah.
much. And see, I'm inclined to say soccer because I've been in America for a long time. Um, but we play football so much that our shoes would get destroyed, and our parents would be like, "Stop doing that because we can't afford school shoes." But as kids, we enjoy the game so much that we would continuously play. So the game is more than just a passion; it's life.
Yeah,
It
I
is.
see. Who's your favorite football player?
In the world, all time,
Yeah.
it's Messi. Messi is my he's the greatest of all time in my eyes. He's the things he can do with the football is just
Mm-hmm.
it's mesmerizing.
Yeah,
So yeah.
indeed he is.
hmm
What's your view on the FIFA World Cup 2026?
I feel like France might win it because they just have so much star power, but so far it's been very interesting. The US has performed really well. They're playing like prime Brazil. I've never seen them play like this before.
Mm-hmm.
It's amazing to see. All the small countries played really well.
Really good.
South Africa got a draw, so thank God, because all my friends were roasting me. We lost our opening game, and at least we got a draw. So I finally got some breathing space. But if we do get eliminated, at least I can say, hey, at least we made it to the World Cup, and I'll be content with that. If it was rugby, that's a different story, because we won the last two rugby World Cups back to back. So when
Yeah.
it's rugby, we are very we're very confident. And if it's cricket, we are semi confident because India is
Yeah.
y'all have the
We are the best at
yes
it. Yeah.
y'all I'll
We
give y'all
proudly
that.
say.
Yeah. Yeah, that's about it.
It's interesting.
hmm
Well, I'm really excited to know about the yoga and the mental health research project that you have taken about.
Okay.
So I want to know more about that.
So the research thing I did, it was an intervention.
Mm-hmm.
So we did an 8-week intervention with the kinesiology department.
Mm-hmm.
In undergrad, all students have to take a kinesiology class here
Mhm.
at ECU. So that's a physical class, and I remember taking it. And one of the one of the assignments was do a number of push-ups and just how many push-ups can you do
Uh-huh.
in a minute? How many sit-ups can you do in a minute? How long can you run in a minute? How long does it take for you to complete a mile running? So I think it helps keep students in shape. And the intervention was so we had like about 20 freshman goals. So freshman is first year goals. Um, and they were involved. So they would do yoga 3 days a week. And so we compared their BMI, body mass
Yeah,
index.
body mass index.
Yeah, and we compared that to when they started
Mm-hmm.
and when they finished, and then we compared their grades to the average student who's maybe not doing sports, or if it's doing sports, but just the average student.
Uh-huh.
And we're comparing their grades, their lifestyle, and their health. And we came to find out that they do way better because sports boosts your morale. It keeps you in shape, and when you're in shape, you're more active. When you're more active, you're more inclined to do more things. So it was more so that they had things to look up to, because when you're an underground student, you have so much free time because you're taking 1,000 level classes. They're not so difficult, and they're all like 50 minutes.
Okay.
So you have so much free time. I remember during my undergrad, I played a lot of basketball because I had so much free time, you know. And so what it does, it helps them. They have a structure because they know Monday I have to do this and I have classes. I have to study, you know. It gives them structure as opposed to the average student who's not doing anything. So the study found out that the students are more, their grades are better because their days are planned out. They are more involved in everything that they do, and it's just has a holistic boost
Yeah.
on everything in their academic life and personal life.
So, how did you get into kinesiology? Like, what is kinesiology?
So kinesiology is the study of the body and movements. You know, it's like it's sports related. You know, sports management. All these people they take a lot of kinesiology classes.
Mm-hmm.
So it's your more physical involved classes. It has to do. It's like biology but sports.
Okay,
It's like
I get
biology
it
but
now.
sports. You know,
Uh-huh.
so more so like your how your body functions in terms of sports and movement and you know
Mm-hmm.
yeah. And the way I got into it is um I had the summer before that I was working at ECU with the ROTC department, and my boss Lisa Fredrickson, she is friends with Dr. Doss, and Dr. Doss is the one that is in the kinesiology department, and they needed a male counterpart, one that was trustworthy. They said that could be trusted around, you know, girls, for example, especially freshman girls, and so she recommended me, and that's how I got into it.
Wow,
Yes, man. So you
nice.
see that that's connection, you know, that's networking, in a sense.
Yeah, that's right.
I
Networking is very important in
it
today's
is,
world.
yeah.
We need to go and seek opportunities out there, otherwise, no one is going to come and serve us the
Yes, ma'am.
opportunities.
Yes, ma'am.
What do you think that how is it impacting the mental struggles on today's youth?
Mental struggles on today's youth. You mean sports?
Sports, education, studies, everything.
Um, so I think today's world is, I think almost everybody in America, or almost every at least undergrad student or Gen Z students have ADHD, and
Yeah,
that's
they do
because
have.
yeah, and that's because of all the kind of lifestyle we live. You know, we're always on these social media scrolling and all these things, so we've developed these short attention spans, and so you can't sit in one place for 5 minutes without doing something. You know, either you grab your phone and you scroll a little bit, then you close it and you put it back. Maybe you have a conversation in your
Mm-hmm.
back before you know it, you're scrolling again, or you're texting your friends. You know, so um, I think sports is really positive because it takes you away from that. And when you do sports, your body releases toxins, for
Mm-hmm.
example, and your body secretes. I forgot what it's called, but I had it, but I don't know. My mind is all
You
over the
get
place right now.
dopamine basically.
Yes, and your body secretes
Happy
like
hormones.
happy hormones. That's what I was trying to say. Happy hormones. I forgot a technical name for it. I have it in my mind somewhere.
I think it's oxytocin.
Yes, yes,
Yeah.
yes. One of those. And so you're more happy, more active, and an active lifestyle is good because it keeps you healthy and strong, and you can, you know, it. I think it's the fact that you're active that everything else around you, you plan things, you know, because you can't just be active. If you have classes, you have all these things, you have to plan to be
Plan
active.
to be active.
And then when you plan to be active, you see that's teaching you another skill, time management, you know. And once one skill progresses, it melts into the others, and others progress as well. So sports is really good on mental health, and I think yeah, in general, good on mental
Yeah.
health.
So, who are the resident advisors and how did you end up being one?
Resident advisors. Okay, so resident advisors are students that live on campus.
Mm-hmm.
So campus has dormitories where students live, because in your first year, it's mandatory that you live on campus as an undergrad. And so coming from South Africa, I didn't know nobody in Greenville. No idea what Greenville was or anything. I
Mm-hmm.
just wanted to go to school overseas. So when I got here, I got in touch with some international students and they brought me over here. And so I was put in a dorm we had to sign up for a dorm. You know, there's three different. There's College Hill, there's Central, and then there's West End, and you read about them,
Mm-hmm.
and you choose where you want to be placed. You don't choose the building, but then the community that you want to be in. So I chose to be on College Hill, and they put me in Scott Hall. All these
Oh.
halls have names,
Mm-hmm.
after the people that made some contributions towards the university, and then or did something really good, maybe student advocates or something, and the buildings are named after them. So I lived on campus, and I remember our RA at that time, our resident advisor at that time, told us about applying to be a resident advisor just like he was. And he told us that being a resident advisor, you get to get free housing and a free meal plan. So you don't have to pay
Mm-hmm.
for your meals throughout the year and your housing. And I was like,
Wow.
wow, that's great. That saves a
That's
lot of,
really great.
yeah, that saves a lot of cost. And so I got interested in that, and I asked questions. And from what I saw was that you needed a decent GPA. You
Mm-hmm.
needed to show that you could lead, for example,
Mm-hmm.
and you just got interviewed and then you answered. The only criteria is that you had a 2.5, at least a 2.5 GPA, and you had some leadership skills and a good GPA. That
Okay.
was about it. A good GPA, some leadership skills, and you should have lived on campus for at least one semester, which you already do because you're undergrad.
Yeah.
Yeah, so and then I applied, and I think for me, leadership comes naturally because I'm the oldest of six, so I've always had to lead. Or so my mom said. Yeah, I've always had to lead,
Yeah.
and it always started at home. Anything I did, my siblings would mimic. Without me knowing. If I did something, my younger brother would do the same thing. Then before I know it, the little ones would be also doing the same thing.
I can understand. Even I'm the oldest.
Yeah. So, and I didn't even realize it, but they did that, and almost every time my parents would sit me down and be like, "You're the oldest. You cannot do wrong things because everybody's watching you." Blah blah
Exactly.
blah. So it's always my life has always been on. I couldn't make mistakes as much as my siblings have leeway
Yeah,
to
the
make
older
mistakes.
ones are much more mature.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. So I'm basically a second parent to them right now.
Yeah.
So it's yeah.
So there are so many data centers that are coming up around the world. So as an electric engineer, so how would you reduce the energy consumptions in these data centers?
How would I reduce the
Energy consumptions.
energy consumptions in
Mm-hmm.
these data centers? I would say for one, I think just the way the whole system functions in general.
Mm-hmm.
I think for one, we'll start with the basics. Just keep lights to a minimum.
Okay.
Lights to a minimum. Use effective lighting, because if we can reduce the lighting from the lights, then we can use the energy towards something else. And I think if we can before we even get into energy conservation, we can get
Mm-hmm.
into more renewable energy, using energy from solar panels and
Yeah,
sustainable
yeah.
energy, for
Sustainable,
example.
renewable
Yeah,
energies.
yeah, if we have renewable energy, then we can have excess energy, and from there we can manage that. And if we have more than enough, then we can you know choose a way to manage it the way we should. And so I would say, like, the way engineering is always evolving. Like with your
Mm-hmm.
fridges, you have these ratings,
Yeah.
and we try to get to that green A as much as possible. So we just build more systems that are more energy conservative, like more energy friendly.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, I think that's the way to do it.
And what do you think about the additional electricity that AI will require in the coming decade? Do you have any idea about that?
Yeah, I know. I've heard. I haven't really looked much into it, but I've heard that AI spends a number of gallons of water every time you do a
Yeah.
search, and a certain amount of electricity, and people are becoming more and more dependent on AI. Everybody has
Yeah.
AI now.
Yeah.
WhatsApp has AI now.
Everything's AI.
Yeah, everything's AI. So I feel like we need to come up with ways to incorporate um energy energy moderation,
Mm-hmm.
energy saving mechanisms to put into place so that all these things are regulated. And I think with time those things are going to come into place, and before we know it, it's going to you know
Yeah.
yeah.
Well, now coming up to numbers, can you tell me like what is the basic pay for electrical engineer? That is the salary progression from entry level to that of after 5 years.
I think the way it goes is entry level is normally around $70,000 a year. To it ranges. It depends on the city. Uh, some start at like 80, 95. If you're going to like California, your big cities. Um, and then I think it goes up by like 10,000 or 20,000 a year. I think. I haven't looked much into the cost, but I know the base. The
Yeah,
base
yeah.
is normally at from 70, 75 to about 95 to 100 within that range.
That's pretty much good.
It's really good. Engineering is a great degree, because if you think about it, systems are always going to need upgrades. You're always going to design more stuff. You know, if you look at, for example, a phone has gone through so many designs over the years. A new iPhone comes out every year. You know, mics, for example, they need to get designed. All systems, buildings get renovated and redesigned, and so that's technology. That's architecture and technology. So engineering, you always it's just like construction. There's
Hmm.
always a road somewhere that needs to be constructed, a building that needs to be renovated, a building that needs to be taken down, and then a new one built. So there's always going to be a job as an engineer. Engineering is one of those fields that can never really go away
Yeah.
because you always need it somewhere. So
Well, that's interesting.
yeah, that's what I
Thank you
think.
so much for joining us today,
Oh,
Patrick,
of
and
course.
sharing your important insights on
Yeah.
South Africa, on
I,
electrical engineering, and so many other different fields.
I wish it was helpful. I wish it.
We are glad to have you. Yeah, it was really helpful to know about the salaries,
Mhm.
to know about the different structures of fees
Mhm.
for the semester wise or yearly wise annually, to know about the resident advisors program. There were many important insights, and also to know about the football.
Yeah, of course, of course.